Clock?
I think so.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Clock's pretty good too. But with against the Shadow Fiend pickup, I think it depends on how they want to run it, and HellRaisers generally play very aggressively, so that you want a hero that can lane control mid very well as have a lot of kill potential. I guess both those usually go hand in hand. But now...
London Conspiracy wastes no time, by the way. They had a whole minute and a half extra time. Instant Ogre. They only really benefit from Bloodlust on the Shadow Fiend. Not really that great on Lesh. Well, the move speed is good, but
he's a good frontliner.
Kind of
it's okay if he gets hook-shotted. It's okay if he gets Omni-slashed. So he's just nice and beefy. Because last game, they had no one that could stand up to any sort of right clicks.
It's going to be TA. I am not sure about this pick in this game. I feel like there are a lot of lockdowns. There's Beastmaster Roar. He's likely to get Necrobook. Easily gets rid of Refraction. They have Edict. They have Ignite. Lots of ways of dealing with Refraction, I feel, and he doesn't even necessarily win. I don't know what the mid lane matchup is. He does well against Shadow Fiend in the start if he plays really well and doesn't give any CS away. The moment Shadow Fiend gets like 5 or 6 CS, he can just match up with TA's damage pretty much, and if he can't, he can always raise from level 3 onward, and they just help him with the support in the start.
And he doesn't seem to have that great of synergy with Clockwork.
No.
So
I'm a little bit unsure about this. That was not what I would have gone for.
I think the one thing that we're not considering, though, is the Chen factor. If, like, Chen... It's a hero that can kill Shadow Fiend very easily in the mid lane.
That's true.
With Chen rotation. So I think that's something that they want to go for and just continually exert pressure onto the Shadow Fiend. So later on, they only have to worry about a farmed Leshrac and just don't really have to consider the Shadow Fiend at all, because Juggernaut is also really good with Shadow Fiend. So I think it's okay, and they're also on Dire. You know, Roshan is really important for them, so I can get on board with it. What other hero would you have preferred?
Oh, I don't know, but TA would, for the reasons you mentioned, not have been my pick. Not that good together with Clockwork. I don't feel like it's synergized that well with the lineup, or it would if there wasn't that many like refraction counters on the Radiant. It's pretty good for timing pushes with Chen and Juggernaut. I think when refraction is strong and you're looking to push towers minute 15 to 20, if the enemy team don't have ways of dealing with refraction, they can't really engage into you. It's basically like having a tanky frontliner at that point, but I believe LC actually have the solution this time around. Anyway, let's introduce the players for each side. At the top rune right now, it looked like Afro Ninja on the TA will be getting this first. Arts will be playing as Juggernaut. We've got Goretz on Disruptor in toward mid lane. Gotham is blocking for his TA as Chen, and then Dread once again playing on the Clockwork. Do you want to introduce us?
Sure. We have Madara starting off with the Soul Ring recipe in the safe lane. We have Skanks on the Witch Doctor in the mid lane. We have Kaiser Soze on the Shadow Fiend. Spartan on the very aggressive Ogre. Ooh, so he's trying to take over the Bounty Hunter's job. And in the off lane, we have Beastmaster, played by Skylark.
And that's actually a really nice strategy here from LC to play a counter-jungling Ogre. Chen actually can't do anything right now, and they don't have the best options of rotating over heroes. Disruptor, not really that good level 1 against the Ogre. The TA can't really come in from the mid lane, has to stay there and challenge the Shadow Fiend and get her CS. And
he can take the left.
He's even blocked the Chen's camp, I believe, with that ward, which is going to get counter-warded, however, by Gotham. They're going to send in the bottle blades and place the next one. This is a very good start for LC. Pretty much the best they could have asked for. He's even going to go in and harass Afro Ninja now, who doesn't actually have Meld, but has Refraction available. Is going to use it. They're going to deal quite a bit of damage here, but seems like it's going to be in vain as he does have the bottle. And
but finally, he like Chen can get some free space.
Yeah.
So
I actually don't think that was the play for Ogre. I think he should have just kept him away.
I also think so too, because he has boots and ignite. Like Chen was already at half HP from just a couple of clubs,
and Disruptor can't do anything.
Yeah, and now Chen doesn't have any big camps for like 2 or 3 more minutes.
Oh, he found a Harpy though.
Oh, that's
the auto win.
That's actually quite lucky for him, I would say, because he only has 2 camps to work with. Small camp, which is generally useless, except for the Harpy, and then the medium camp, which is Ogres, which is of limited usefulness. Maybe you'd prefer like a Rock Golem to kill some people, or a Centaur so you can creep a little bit more with a. I guess the Harpy is definitely the best of all his options.
It's just so good, this creep. It is actually borderline ridiculous how long cast range the Chain Lightning has. But what's going on in the other lanes then? So basically the rotation or the early harassment from the Ogre and the pressure on the TA has allowed Shadow Fiend to win mid. So they partially drafted TA as a good counterpick to SF, and the lane is lost minute 2.
Is it lost? I don't think it's lost.
Well, I don't know. From my perspective, Shadowfiend versus TA, if TA doesn't beat Shadowfiend right in the start, Shadowfiend's going to farm the same or more. And a big part of TA is being a lane dominator. So from that perspective, I mean, she hasn't died and she's not getting out-farmed, but you want to play from ahead as TA. So with that perspective, maybe she's still actually ahead a little bit as it looks. There was a big creep wave coming in that she farmed.
All it takes is like one kill to completely upset the balance. And if, like, let's say SF kills TA, I still think TA can still put pressure on SF. Whereas if it's vice versa and TA gets a kill on SF, like SF's almost done for.
All right.
But
yeah, well, that just happened.
Yeah.
So.
That happened.
Yep. As mentioned, Shadowfiend won the lane for 20 seconds, and then he got first blooded, so didn't win it after all. I was just looking at the CS. Shadowfiend had 10 and TA had 6, and that's generally a good indicator that the lane's going well. We've got a glimpse onto Skylark, actually, and the Blade Fury should be enough. Even though he has boots and summons a boar, Arts, I think, had 2 points in the spin there. We're seeing this trend a lot more recently, where Juggernauts, instead of going for the 1-1-1 and a lot of stats, actually start prioritizing getting the Blade Fury for those early lane kills. And I think that's a kill that doesn't happen with level 1 Blade Fury, actually.
Yeah,
I think they needed that damage.
I mean, it scales really nicely now. Before it used to scale like, man, let's just get level 1. But now, Iceberg has deemed that the 1-1-1 build was too imbalanced.
Too boring.
Too boring. It was too good, really.
Yeah. Wow, I cannot believe I said Shadowfiend was winning that lane. He was 10 CS against 6 on TA, but there must have been a really big wave coming in for the TA into the tower. She found like 6 or 7 CS, then she killed him, and then she farmed another wave while Shadowfiend wasn't there. So.
The bottle, SF didn't have his bottle on him, and TA did, as well as the Ogre coming in to disrupt that one wave, and it was like right around that time.
Yeah, she had a haste.
Yeah.
That's how she found the kill. Didn't see that earlier.
Because the TA doesn't really have to be scared like of contesting runes. Like if SS in the mid lane, Ogre is not going to be able to do that much. Whereas like a Chen, finding the SF is just really, really dangerous for the SF. He always has to live in fear. So yeah, it's just not that great of a time for him. Ideally, it'd just be static one-on-one situation where Shadowfiend would, I think, come out on head. But there's too many other variables to consider in that lane.
Yeah, Afo Ninja definitely getting himself the lead he wanted. Now, the thing about this is now there's actually really pressure on LC to deal with this, because Shadowfiend, after dying and being behind by 6 CS, when TA hits level 6, can actually solo him. Just run him down with any useful rune. A rune might not even be necessary, but say she finds a DD or a haste, she can just tower dive him and not give a crap about it. Shadowfiend's only real counterplay to a TA diving him in his tower is having Requiem of Souls. 50% damage reduction, removing the refraction, maybe even getting a counter kill, but that is not available when you're level 6 later than the TA, so...
Yeah, or, you know, have an early, like, buckler or something like that, so you can actually tank it up, but most of the time that's not going to happen in the early game, or, of course, get a TP scroll, but it looks like the support on the side of LC, Witch Doctor is busy trying to farm out bottom, Ogre kind of milling about after the early bout with the Chen, and I definitely agree with you, like, because if they always keep eyes on the Chen, then SF can do a lot more. Like, as Chen obviously can't smoke, like when the Ogre's already on top of him, and if he can't get a creep like the Ogre, or like the Harpy, SF doesn't get pressure, because he didn't have his bottle, so he was at like 200 HP. So, I mean, it was a big deal that he left the lane. If he just trailed the Chen, I don't even think he can come close to the Harpy creep.
No, I don't think so either. I was really commending Ogre for his early aggression play, and I thought he's going to keep doing this until some sort of reaction is forced, because this is definitely favoring the team without the Chen. It's why you get the bounty as well. You just run and hit the Chen, prevent him from getting the camps he wants, just delaying him overall. And this, in a way, was an even better effectiveness than a bounty could have brought, because Chen wouldn't even get a creep. Against bounty, he gets a creep, and they start fighting, and they split the experience in gold, but here there was no creep to be gained. It was basically both of them being dirt poor, and Chen definitely the one that suffers more than an Ogre on that front. But
I could have understood it if it were like a Quap or something in mid that could have ran around and protected the Chen and just killed the Ogre, but a TA can't help versus an Ogre until level 6. And he already has like very high armor, and it's just not going to happen. Like an Ogre isn't going to die to a TA plus a Chen. So
and you can't leave the lane. Like if she starts running up to start fighting, Shadowfiend outfarms her by like 2 waves.
Yeah, he races out the waves, he checks runes, and he farms the Radiant camp.
So that's completely impossible.
Yeah, so it was, I think, a big tactical blunder by LC to have the Ogre not consistently pressure the Chen, and instead the tides have turned.
Oh, top lane though, Spartan is going to come in for an Ignite as well as a Fire Blast. Very easy kill on Gourds. Actually, they're waiting a little bit. They finally get him. There's a glimpse though on the TP. Should be able to bring Arts out to safety. So they only find the one kill on the Disruptor. I believe that was a double TP from LC, so I want to say all in all a fairly even trade when they find a position 5 support.
Yeah, but Dread gets this massive stack that was intended for the Shadow Fiend, and they know that the Witcher can't do anything about it because they TP
Chain Lightning.
Oh, and Chain Lightning. But there's no one else behind them because they all TP'd. And now they're filing in slowly. Let's see if Letrek can get a hit on anyone. He does scout out that camp, but looks like Madara going to take an easy kill on Goddamn.
Yeah, and he's going to farm this camp as well. I guess it's possible they wanted it for the Shadow Fiend. It's possible they wanted it for the Lesh. Regardless, they definitely wanted it for themselves. And Madara getting it, I think getting levels and farm on Lesh is going to be really good in this game. He doesn't want to skill Edict early to counter the TA. He wants to just max out Lightning and Stun. And in the long run, there's one weakness of HR's lineup that we haven't really talked about. They are shit against Ghost Scepter. And that could be the build for Leshrac here, is getting, say, Bloodstone into Ghost, and then you can actually contest both Jugger and TA in a team fight. The only real magical damage that's the threat is the Static Storm. Sure, you could get caught in cogs with Battery Assault, but I'm assuming one of their supports on the Radiant side will be getting a force down. What's that?
Spin? If he can max.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He can max spin as a
He has 3-point spin, that's a good point. That might actually be... That might be a threat.
Because then he can damage Lesh, and Lesh can't even touch him. Or, I mean, Edict, but he didn't skill Edict.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think having max spin in this game, or, I mean, even level 3 as he has right now, is just very good at... Oh.
Still, spin isn't that reliable when you're playing against Roar and Boar. Both things will, either you just lock him in place, or if the Boar is on him, the slow pierces magic immunity, and his spin is going to have very, very slow movement speed. So
I don't think focusing down the Jugger is going to happen, though. Like, especially during spin, that's... Or, sorry.
Oh, no, they don't need to focus him. They just need to kite him. So the spin doesn't kill Lesh.
Yeah, that's true.
They could just put a Boar on him and play the fight. Nice cask here coming in from Skanks, but nothing really going to come out of it apart from stopping the Chen's advances, as the Hawk is scouting beautifully.
They have the
here.
Observer Ward
They
there.
have all the info they want. So does the other team, though, as Dread finds a solo pick-off on Kaiser. Hookshot, double damage, and level 3 Battery Assault. Easy pickings for him. And this should be the end of this Tier 1 tower as well. HR in a very good position. I do believe Arts has 1 point in Healing Ward if he wants to use it. Maybe he doesn't. Never mind. Actually, very unusual to see that. There's a roar onto Alpha Ninja. Can they bring him down before he gets refraction off? Absolutely not. Not even close. And Leshrac doing what he can, finds Gotham on the side. Alpha Ninja now might be into... He got in way too deep all of a sudden. Thought they had the advantage there, and... Well, he survived the roar. They could have probably just taken that disengage, but got a little bit greedy.
He thought that they were good because the Ogre TP'd and immediately died, and he thought they had more momentum going into the fight. But Juggernaut was at like 35% HP. Omni, get out. So at the end of the day, HR still get the tower, which is what they were aiming for, but not as cleanly as they would have liked.
Yeah, that kill on TA is really important. She was starting to get ahead, and I believe Lesh got the last hit for it. He got a double kill, so almost catching up in net worth as a result. Building for what seems to be a Bloodstone first with the point booster as well as Soul Ring. Could be a very fast one even. Maybe like minute 13 is now to the question if he gets this tower too.
So he has taken a point in Edict. Very nice. I mean, 1 point's definitely good, I would say, to just owe the refraction.
Yes.
Or just kill him during melt if he's hidden. And it's also just really good for
Oh, good hookshot from Dread, but yeah, they actually are able to hit with the TA, but not when he runs to the left. Still doesn't matter. Static Storm. Dread surviving with 10 health. The spin from Arts, chasing down Kaiser. He doesn't have Omni Slash, doesn't need it. There's an easy TA trap as well as a rocket. Death Requiem comes out. They might find Goritz on the other side, though. Going to commit the roar, and they will probably be retreating after this. So 2 for 1, but 2 cores for position 5. Easy win for HR in that fight.
Sick hook shot, 6 Static Storm. The Static Storm like clipped the Leshrac on the north side, and then everyone else on the bottom side. It was just very well placed, and being able to kill that Leshrac, slow down his Bloodstone, of utmost importance.
How far down did they get that tower? I think they got it down to a third, I think. Oh, actually, okay, down to a quarter. So they're probably going to be able to just TP in and get it right now if they want, and at least have made some sort of progress. It looks like the Shadow Fiend will port here.
But Leshrac's not there.
I'm guessing HR's heroes will have to retreat to base, and Kaiser could just go and hit it 4 times.
I don't think so. Leshrac went down bottom. I think he's especially with this haste rune coming up. I don't know if they have eyes on the haste.
Oh yeah, well that complicates things a bit. There's multiple heroes in the bot lane. They're going to open up on Madara. There's the glimpse. He has no way out of this one. Going to use his ultimate as well as the stun. Actually gets a trade. I think he should be really happy with this given the circumstances. And to me, surprising that Shadow King doesn't go and get the tower now. They saw 3 heroes bottom. There's a TA running in, the glimpse, as well as the Chen. Oh, they got it with the creep. He didn't commit for it. Maybe was scared of the hook shot and being caught out, but at the very least for LC, they do manage to claim the tower and not have it denied by HR. And you know what, Ben? It might be the first time that I can remember, at least we kept the game, that might become even and interesting.
Yeah, it's very even at this point. TA with a spill on top, Leshrac with... I mean, most of these heroes were in that position to dominate. And then with these couple of deaths, they're kind of just on par with everyone else and not in that snowball range.
I'm curious about your thoughts on how HR are playing their Chen. He's taking a very self-sacrificial role in this game. He has a net worth of 1,000 minute 12. So his GPM is like 80 right now, or 90. And
I think
he's level 4 minute 12, and that was after the Ogre left him alone. So he could have definitely recovered and been easily level 6,
he used
maybe
so many
7
creeps
now.
for the mid lane, though.
Do you feel like that was worth it after the first blood? Isn't that when, okay, Tia, you won your lane, let me get my level 6, let me get our mech, and we can start team fighting with that. Disruptor is almost level 8 when Chen's level 4. That's completely unheard of.
They stole some of the stack on bottom
The
lane.
dive. Madara is going to try to tango himself through it, looked like, but that is not happening. Easy tower here for HR.
I think a lot of it is him sacrificing his farm to keep SF down, though. So, like, let's say Chen sacrificed like 2 levels and like 2,000 net worth for SF's like 1,500 net worth and, you know, maybe a level or 2. I think that's worth it because he always has to live in fear. He's like, even with the, by the time he gets mech, I think they're going to be very close to the point where HR can actually have Aegis, and then they don't even care if he has a mech. They just man mode on him, and I don't think he's going to be tanking up to the point where you want to be. You want to be able to mech up when TA goes on you, try to Requiem, and then kind of force him back. But if you're not strong enough, the Clockwork's just going to hookshot you, and then you're going to die without their team being afraid of him. So, I mean, are you really scared of a Chen with level 6 as opposed to level 4? I mean, it's a small difference, but if you don't have to worry about the SF at all, or he dies every time to Omni Slash, that's a huge deal. And I think the sacrifice is worth it for HR.
All right. The sacrifice looks like it's going to bring them a Roche as well. Chen not really contributing too much, but both Tia and Jugger, of course, are going to be easily able to do that. There's a hookshot from Dread for the south side. Madara isn't even going to play his hero this fight, it looks like. Or maybe actually gets a bit of damage off. What a death ward coming in from Skanks, doing lots of damage. Ninja, he's got the Aegis. Will probably have to concede it here, but what can they get out of it? There's the Meld Strike. Another stun comes out onto Arts, who has already used the Omni Slash. They need to finish Ninja off. He's going to keep living because of this damn healing ward. Finally, they bring it down. Arts in the spin, looking for Skylark at the back. Static Storm Kinetic Field in the meantime catching off Skanks. He is definitely going to be brought down here by the Chen. And now the Glimpse back as well onto the Shadow, sorry, not the Shadow, the Ogre in the middle of everything. 4 kills only for the Clockwork as well as the Aegis. Very, very good trade once again for HellRaisers. 1,500 gain, lots of experience, of course, going their way, including the Roshan kill. And yeah, you're right, I guess. The Shadow Fiend, he did have the mech that fight, right? I feel like his net worth is pretty high.
I think he did.
He's had it for a while, even.
Yeah, he just got it, and I mean, Chen is making big plays. He had the Centaur to lock the Leshrac in place for a guaranteed hookshot by Dread, and taking out Leshrac that early in the fight so he can't cast Lightning like 4 or 5 times during the fight is tremendous in HR's.
Oh, nice rocket flare into Glimpse. Madara again. He was 3-0-0 in the start. Since then, he's died 5 times in what looks to be almost 5 minutes, honestly. He's died like every minute in the last 5 minutes. Okay, I didn't manage to say that twice, but he was looking good. I think his GPM, actually, he hasn't gained gold since his second death, it feels like. He's managed to get a Bloodstone recipe. And I was expecting him to maybe have a Bloodstone by now, but he is still 2 boosters away.
He doesn't have any armor. He has 5 armor. Like
or 1 boost away.
TA is just gonna crush him.
He needs that Ghost Scepter immediately after, or a Plate Mail. And I don't think Plate Mail is the better choice. I definitely think Ghost is the way to go. But yeah, HR have really managed to get a good grip on this game. Right when I said it was going to be close, Ben, they've gone 7-1 since then. Got a Roche 2 towers and are completely out farming LC now. Great.
The SF has lost complete control of the jungle. I think that was the biggest problem for LC in the like 5 to like 12 minute phase of the game. Clockwork got a solo kill on him. Chen stole one of their stacks. He died to solo TA, and he just had so many things go wrong for him that the Ogre set up a good framework in the first minute, and then after that, he just completely left him alone because he thought it was okay. But you can't let your SF die there. You can't let the opposing team steal your stacks, and you can't let a Clockwork, off-lane Clockwork, steal your stack, get level 6 quickly, and then kill your solo mid. That is just unacceptable for the sequence of events that has transpired.
I can't remember the last time I've seen such a farm Clockwork minus 16. He's 4th on the net worth. He's out farming the Lesh right now in draw.
And now he has a blade mail, so Leshrac is completely useless.
Yeah, this is a really big problem for the Lesh pick. And it should have never come to this point. Wait, I'm hearing a hook shot. Where is he even? Alright. He found the disruptor from his own
He might have hit a Hawk.
Oh yeah, you're right. Must have been a Hawk. Is he stuck?
I don't think so.
No, he can run into.
I think he hookshot from there, and there was a Hawk like right on him or something like that. But that's pure speculation.
There's a tower going down. Madara will claim that. I think that's almost his bloodstone at this point. He was, I believe, a vitality booster short, so...
Nice, can respawn faster, feed more kills.
Skylark easily going to be jumped on here by HR. Can they get more? Glimpse is available, I think. Not going to use it just yet is Goretz. And maybe they're going to retreat her. Death Ward, decent damage. Actually, really good damage by now. Nice raise from Kaiser as well. And with the Ignite locking down Madara, or sorry, the Afro Ninja on the TA, still going to be able to blink, though. He is taking damage. Are they looking to turn this around? I don't think so. And it's a hold for LC. They get a kill on Disruptor as a trade-off for Beastmaster, as well as finding a tier 1 bottom. In this game situation, I think that's pretty much the best they can hope for, apart from a big misplay from HR.
It was a slight misplay with the misplay.
Oh, it wasn't a big misplay.
It wasn't a big misplay. It was still decent for them. They had a DD on SF, which definitely helped in killing the Disruptor at that point. And HR ageless, going for a rather forceful push down that mid lane. But still, the big story is Leshrac is just, he was, I think, almost on top of net worth, and now he's very far behind the TA, and still has no armor to shore up against the Juggernaut and the TA.
Now the question is this smoke going to yield any results? They're looking for Afoninji on the left, I believe. The Hawk is going to provide crucial vision. Actually, okay, 4 heroes from HR here, but Chen not in the fight and also doesn't have Hand of God, so it's essentially a 5-1-4 with the TP in from Shadowfield. Ogre on the front lines, tanking up a lot of damage. There's a good Requiem coming out from Kaiser. Dread, however, isolating them nicely here. Still not enough as it looks. The Static Storm trying to basically zone or control 2 heroes here. It is successful. Nice Lightning Storm coming out from Madara. And even better, 2 heroes done. And Afro Ninja now is going to die as well. It's looked to be a 4-for-2. Chen too late to the party. And HR getting a little bit too excited at this point. A little bit greedy in their pushing. I'm very surprised they didn't bring in Chen for that push.
I don't know if they had Static Storm.
They lost 4,000 gold.
I don't know if they had Disruptor at the beginning of the fight, because Clockwork saw them, and then Disruptor immediately ran left, and they were actually running into a choke because of the way the Secret Shop is set up around there. So when he roars under the Clockwork, and if he drops a Static Storm right there into a kinetic field, I think the fight's over, and they immediately have to back because they can't walk into that. But instead, the way the fight proceeded was Disruptor went to the left, Clockwork got isolated, and they just jumped on the other targets without being able to use Static Storm to quell that sort of aggression.
And I believe Juggernaut didn't get to play his hero, right? He got roared and died. Or did he get a spin-off?
He got Split Earth too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might have got a spin-off.
No, he got. He
no
was,
Omni.
They roared Dread.
So they roared Dread. So how did Juggernaut not get his ult off? Did he just choose not to use it? So they roared Dread as the opener, but didn't burst him before he hookshot.
Might have got multicasted or something.
That sounds like a little bit of an odd fight. If you don't roar the Juggernaut in this kind of fight, he should definitely at least be getting his ultimate.
I think they were really close to having their ultimates. Okay. It might have not been
cooldown. Oh, he might have had a
because I'm not sure if Static Storm was on cooldown. Hookshot definitely was off cooldown, but that's the shortest one of those 3. So I think LC with an excellent smoke play, catching them when they least expected it. I think they probably need like 5 or 10 more seconds to reset everything, and then they would have been okay. But instead, just in that tiny window, Dota a game of seconds.
There goes the Hawk. Kaiser posing aggressively, has the BKB.
Wow, he has BKB from that fight? Oh my.
That is really big.
He was 0-3-2 before.
Glimpse. They're going to maybe just burst down this Witch Doctor. No, never mind. Instead, the cask is actually going to go the other way. It only bounces once, but it should be enough. Afro Ninja again. Going to be locked down, maybe also brought down. Yes, he will. Kaiser going to BKB and run out of the kinetic field. Chasing down Goretz, that's 2 kills. HR, they're throwing away their entire lead in a matter of just 2 minutes. And now they're going to be on the back foot here in this fight, running away with both Chen and Clockwork as they have ported out the Juggernaut. And basically just 2 free kills for LC. The only thing they needed to expend on that, Witch Doctor Ward, Roar, 2 decently short cooldown ultimates,
they need
as well as a
BKB on
BKB
TA.
charge.
They need BKB on TA ASAP.
Absolutely.
Or Aegis. Like, they cannot keep fighting like this.
Oh, Dread gonna get open. Nice dodge on the Split Earth. And even really good cogs as well. It does look like it's maybe gonna matter, I think, with this mech. No, it's not. He is definitely gonna die before he gets sent home. And now got him. Help a Friend Syndrome is gonna get you killed. It looks like Lightning Storm will reach, and a raise and a click from the Witch Doctor. 2 kills again for nothing. HR, this has got to be a Mount Everest gold graph we're looking at here. I feel like they must have had a really big lead, and alright, actually, never mind, it's the
Death Valley.
Death Valley graph. I was looking for the name of the...
Marianas Trench.
There you go. That was what I was looking for. Absolutely.
Pit of Despair.
Pit of Despair crap. So, we got the reverse curse when it was looking like it wasn't going to be a close game. Then we get it back to a close game, but maybe not. Maybe it's just going to go the other way. Solid 3-2-2s in this game so far.
How's Roche looking? They need Roche.
Good question. He's going to spawn in 2 minutes, roughly.
Both teams need Roche.
I don't think the Radiant need it. They just need the Dire not to get it.
I mean,
I think they win fights now.
If they get it on Lesh, though,
Sure.
then he can build something more offensive.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible for him. Like, it's obviously going to make it a way easier game for them, but I still think at this point in time, LC are actually stronger in team fights. So, for HR to have a chance at taking a team fight, they need it. For LC to be able to win a team fight, the only thing that's important is that there's no Aegis happening.
No BKB. He really needs the Aegis.
I do not agree with this choice.
Maybe he didn't see the Ghost Scepter on Lesh.
It's possible. It's also possible he's been working on it for a while. If you look at his current gold, it's 1,500, so I'm imagining he's had these components for a while.
Yeah, but you just buy the hammer first.
Yeah, I don't know how long he had the recipe for, though. He might have bought it before he died at one point and been like, okay, I'll finish my Deso soon and then work on BKB.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
He's died 2 or 3 fights in a row on the TA. I think his net worth has barely increased over the last 5 minutes.
If they didn't lose those 2 fights, I think it's really good, because then they just glimpse like Witch Doctor and then just kill him in like 2 seconds. But now that they have Ghost Scepter on Lesh, they have the BKB on Shadow Fiend, he has a lot of armor because of the mech. Like, I don't think there's that great of targets for him to burst down, and he is going to get wrecked by Leshrac. And Leshrac almost has a Yules. So, I mean, even if he has a BKB, I guess he can still get kited for like 8 seconds by the Lesh. Not 8, maybe 6.5.
Yeah, and then they just need to roar. They just need to roar the TA. I think they can't lose the fight if they roar TA and pop the Necro 3 and just send the Necro book on, say, the Clockwork or the Juggernaut. Especially if Jugger doesn't get ult off. They just don't have the damage to kill the Radiant lineup anymore. Heals complete. Disruptor does have a Glimmer Cape, however, on the side of HR, and that could make for some interesting plays where maybe they save the Roar target, maybe they get an engage with it.
The problem is it doesn't help TA do damage.
No.
Because even if she gets, like, let's say she gets Roared and Glimmer Cape, she might live, but she still won't do damage.
Yeah.
She'll still have, like, Coconuts as well as Leshrac Stun to follow up, or even, like, a Yules, multicast. There's so many things that can just happen to her. Even Requiem Souls to mitigate her damage output.
Ooh, HR cannot let this happen, but they don't have any vision. They don't even know what's going on.
They have a TA trap.
Oh, they do. They have a TA trap in the river. I don't know if that saw the movement into the pit, though, as they just ran around the short path in the corner. Now, if they didn't know until now, they definitely know by now with that rocket. But can they get in? They're getting zoned out by the big bad Ogre. There is a hook shot by Dread going in. That's just going to get him killed for nothing. Can't follow up. The team is going to try to come in here with a Static Storm Kinetic Field, only catching the Beastmaster. However, TA doing a lot of damage to the Omni Slash as well. Some good bounces onto the Shadow Fiend. Will be a trade-off here. Afro Ninja is fighting Madara. That is not a fight that TA is going to win without a BKB. Now Art's caught, but he will be Glimmer Cape, still brought down with the offensive Urn Charge as well as the Ogre's Ignite, I believe that was. And now Chen being run down as well. Another destruction by LC, 4 for 1. Will also be claiming the Roche most likely. They are missing their Shadow Fiend, but I believe that he was brought down more than low enough for them to easily claim this. Another 2K swing.
Dread didn't have the best hook shot there, but they lost vision because of the Necro 3 killing the trap. And he actually didn't give his blade mail off before he died either. I mean, that's a lot of damage. Just blade mailing before you die.
That was just a full YOLO hook shot. His team wasn't even close.
Well, they didn't have HP on Roche. They wanted to get vision as ASAP. I mean,
yeah, I guess he has to maybe try for it.
Yeah, he has to try for it. Because if they just give it Roche, they just push in.
I mean, what they could do instead is they could put a trap in there and then hook shot. So you wait, because the trap outside saw, okay, there's movement into Roche, we think they're rushing. They rocket, okay, they're definitely rushing. And then you put a trap on the spot of Roche, see his health, make the play based on that. Or ideally, you just throw a better rocket.
To be
I think
fair,
the rocket didn't even scout Roche's health, right? So that's just a misplay.
To be fair, when they last had vision in there with the rocket, there were a lot of people inside the pit.
Nice play here from Chen as well as the Clockwork. They're going to take over the boar that was blocking the hook shot and just run it away. And Dread's going to set up for a kill on Madara. Do they have what it... Okay, they do. Easy melt strike. He used the Ghost Scepter before he died. And whoa, 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 whoa. What? That was a Radiant Courier with... Was that 2 Blades of... Well, this is Boots of Travel recipe, never mind. The Blades of Alacrity are on the HR Courier, I believe, as they are looking to get a Diffusal Blade on their Juggernaut. Almost has it, just 400 to go after that kill bottom.
Diffusal Blade smart here. And
well, Lesh, he was dead for a few seconds. He's got a lot of Bloodstone charges. Obviously lost a third of them rounded up there, down to 12. So he would have had, was that 18 Bloodstone charges dying there? That's crazy. He died, he went 3-0, then he went 4-5, and since then he's managed to get 10 Bloodstone charges. What a game.
So BKB next on the docket for old TA. Still, I'm not sure how much...
Oh, that might be delayed by a bit. This is an easy setup from Madara for himself. Split Earth with the Yules. They bring him down, and this should probably be a tier 2 tower as well. The TA out for 50, no buyback. And even if she had, I don't know if that would intimidate LC. They used nothing for that.
I think they push high ground with this.
Yeah, they could if they know there's no buyback, but considering the position these teams are in relation to the tournament and qualifying in general, I think they might take the more safe approach and just...
I still think they can fight though, right?
They could.
They can have SF siege high ground, and then if they really want to hook shot in, he just
gets the ignite. Is Madara able to get this Yules? He will. Should set up for a Split Earth. Nice glimpse, though, might have saved Gotham's life if they don't reach with anything, but the cask is going to bounce. There's a nice Glimmer Cape keeping Gotham alive. Takes almost no damage for that raise, but still Dread in the middle of no... What is going on? Where did Dread die? He died in the middle of the map to a Beastmaster with the book. And in addition to that, Chen died in... Wait, what did he die to? Who killed Chen? The Ogre? He just ran him down in the base with the Force Staff? And he still lives.
It's not bad. They sacrificed a couple of heroes so that TA doesn't have to buy back.
Yeah.
That's
probably worth it all in all. Afro Ninja now looking for Spartan, but nice juke there. Avoids getting caught by the trap. Runes have spawned. There's a bounty on top. Is that a double damage bottom? That could also prompt the high ground push for the Radiants. Shadow Fiend with double damage right now is very scary for the high ground siege. He has a bottle for it, so they can set up for it at the right time. Also has a Mantis style completed if he wants to buy it. What are we looking at from HR? There's a gem picked up by Disruptor looking to gain some map control. What's the item progression on the other heroes? Clockwork was so rich in the start. He's got a... Only a Staff of Wizardry. Chen still sitting on the mech only. Diffusal Blade has been completed by Juggernaut. He actually has quite a bit of damage between the Manta and Diffusal if he gets to lock onto the Lash. Could kill him pretty quickly in these fights, and is probably his priority target.
He still has Yules, though.
Yeah, he still has Yules. That's very true.
They need a Scepter on Disruptor, I think.
Yeah, that's going to take a while.
Yeah. I mean, Glimmer Cape is nice and all, but...
They find the Witch Doctor. Who finds who, actually? Ogre gonna get jumped by Dread as well as the TA, but nice Force Staff. Oh, was that the Cogs? No, it was his Force Staff. He will get out of that. Roar now onto Arts. He's also out of mana. Will not be able... Actually, already used his ultimate. There's the Requiem. Nice Manta play getting out of the kinetic field. Oh, sorry, that's on his own team, so never mind that. Just Manting in general and running away, but what's the price going to be? Nice multicast from the Ogre as well, getting a little bit of RNG there, hitting 3 heroes with the Ignite. Going to bring down Goretz. It looks like the Glimpse will come off, but he'll die to Aggressive Urn as well as the Ignite. Wow. 2 kills again, lost Gem.
Not having BKB on TA, I think, was one of the biggest mistakes that HR's made this game. Like, he is just completely useless. First, the pick out on top, and then that led to 2 other heroes dying. That time he died without BKB, and he can't do anything without BKB after those 2 huge lost fights that set LC up for this T3 push.
And the tower is going to go down now. This is going to be a lane of racks for sure. The question is if they even need to leave the base. Man, look at this graph. That's ridiculous. I was really sure LC were going to lose this game based on the first 15 minutes, but they managed to pull it back.
That really sick smoke play, I think, really won them the game, or at least, you know, put them in this position. Without that smoke play, I think HR would still be in a decent position right now. But I mean, they don't have to push. They didn't have to push at that point.
Oh, Ogre has Ags.
Oh, buddy.
That is... I mean, Tia had a hard game so far. Now she might barely get to do anything until that BKB is completed. How far away is she from that? That's still another... That's 2,000 gold she's missing. I don't know if they have the time for that. If LC identify the fact that the BKB is not up yet, they could just look to push right away, or they will wait for the next Roche. But I think that's actually a worse play. If the Tia gets a BKB, I think the Aegis is less valuable than the lack of BKB on Tia. Maybe. Or maybe it doesn't matter. Ultimately, they're really far ahead now, and they have, as we talked about, ways of kiting, ways of dealing. Even with the BKB, they still have the Roar, and they still have Requiem of Souls, which is going to reduce her damage a hell of a lot. So down goes that ward. Pushing out the mid lane as well. Is there going to be any rotation from LC to the bot lane? They kind of need to deal with the split pushing TA at this point. Putting a lot of emphasis on the lane that's already pushing by itself isn't going to really bring them anything.
She does own towers really quickly with the Dezo. And now we see a BKB up on Leshrac, so... yeah... It's all in on Juggernaut and TA being able to do damage. As we mentioned, TA probably not going to be able to do that much, so it's pretty much on Juggernaut if he can kill Shadow Fiend, but he has a Manta style, as well as a ton of armor to deal with the Omni Slash, so even he's not a good target. Leshrac has Ghost Scepter. If he gets defused, he just Yule Scepter, so he's also somewhat immune to dying to a solo Omni Slash. So yeah, I do not like HR's chances at all going into the next fight. Maybe they can get like a hookshot plus a burst at the same time, like hookshot plus Omni Slash, or like Omni Slash, and then like right before he can pop his cooldowns, he hookshots, and then they can kill Leshrac immediately. That
sounds really unlikely.
It's far-fetched, but
there's even a Force Staff on Ogre. They just...
Disruptor is useless because they have BKBs on those two heroes. TA is useless because she doesn't have BKB. So it's all on Juggernaut.
I actually don't even think Jugger can kill Lesh with a full Omni Slash. 9 armor and 2,000 health. Yeah. He does not have the damage. So there's going to need to be a secondary damage to it.
The Manta's throwing it, maybe.
It's going to be close.
The Fusel burn. The burn.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they can find that fight. And we need to remember, going into the series, HR needs a 2-0 win to even have a shot at qualifying. This is the basic an elimination game for them with a draw or less. So they don't get a second chance if they lose this game. That's a trip home. Well, they are home. It is an online qualifier, but it's a trip to not Seattle. As they kill an illusion. What's that?
Not Seattle. Shadow Fiend working on Butterfly, and I definitely think that's the right item here.
For sure, the right item. And I like getting the Talisman first here. He could, of course, have been a little more ambitious and get the Eagle Song for more damage, but ultimately, the only way they really lose this game is if Shadow Fiend dies early, or if Lesh dies early, or both. And with the Talisman, I don't think HR have the damage they need. They have no True Strike. No one is even remotely close to an MKB. And, well...
All they really need to do is walk around as 5, defend split push, and take Roche. And then proceed on the high ground, and just don't do anything risky. Yeah, so how does this put LC if they end up winning this?
Then they have 4 points from 3 series. They have 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss.
Well, there goes my... the winner of this match will likely contest the final spot, Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, so they would have 1 2-0 win, 1 draw, and 1 0-2 loss. This would be a draw. If they win this game, it's a draw. Yeah. As Gotham is getting pressured. Not enough multicast for the Ogre, it seems. He's going to Force Staff and try to TP out. Hookshot, what? He got blocked by the Wolf. Oh, everything going wrong for HR. They were looking to finally get a clean kill with no costs, and then they're even starting to work against each other. And that hookshot also looked like it had a really weird angle. I think there was actually a clear line. He just whiffed. He whiffed a 400 range hookshot. That's...
really nice.
That's a sign of tilt.
That was a really quick 4-step.
That was very good, indeed.
Yeah, they have to be tilting to some extent.
They're going to start grouping up and pushing down the bottom lane with the BKB TA, looking to put some sort of pressure, but they won't be able to reach that tier 2 tower before they have to defend top against Midara.
And now he has plate mail.
Yeah, he is not going to die. It's very difficult to imagine. And use the Edict and just farm up. And, well, what is...
Not really. Because they have BKBs, and they don't have any way to stop the BKBs. If they had a way to stop, like if they had a Lion or something instead of a Chen or a Disruptor, yeah, I think a smoke play's fine. But without a way to stop the BKBs, it's almost pointless to do so. Because if you Omni Slash, they pop their defensive cooldowns, you get roared, you die. Or TA goes in, she tries to burst down someone, she gets roared, she dies. So there is almost no counterplay for that.
And it looks like the smoke play will be coming from the other side. At least the Radiant Heroes were starting to gather up. I guess they didn't use the smoke by the looks of it. Or they did. Lesh does have Boots of Travel, right? So he can just port on the Hawk. He's had them for a long time.
This Roche is dropping so quickly.
Oh, good hookshot from Dread as well, buying a lot of time. The kinetic field as well. Dread forcing up. He's probably going to die to this Death Ward and Shadow Fiend, but good trade for HR. They get the Roche so far. Might even get Spartan here. Good multicast, though, from the Ogre.
That force
maybe.
Do you see the Juggernaut? Zoom out, look up. The Juggernaut's stuck up there.
Wait, what?
He force-staffed the Ogre, or the Ogre force-staffed the Juggernaut.
No, he's trying to Manda style. Now there's 3 Juggernauts stuck on the cliff. And Goretz, well, it looked like HR might have had a shot there with getting the Roche basically for free, but Ogre with the plays.
Big plays.
And TA, she got Aegis and Cheese. So they still have the Cheese, and they did not give the Aegis away. And ultimately, that in the given situation, you've got to consider that a win for them. That is a decent Omni Slash. I do not think that is enough with the Roar, though. And does Clockwork have a hookshot soon? 5 seconds. Can just force into Cogs. They're going to get a kill on Madara as well. Will suicide, though. Is there a follow-up? Dread could look for a hookshot if he wants. He does. Catches both, but there's no Cogs being expended just yet as Afro Ninja goes in to hit. But damn, this Shadow Fiend is laying into him. Not going to survive all those Manta illusions and all that damage coming out. Arts now as well on the receiving end. Kaiser is definitely being the carry in this fight for the Radiant side as Lesh is now coming back to the fight, not even buying back, just Bloodstone bringing him back very quickly, looking to siege this top tier 3. Buybacks being expended by HR. They have to buy back the Juggernaut as well. Was this 2 or even 3 buybacks? Now the TA going in for a little bit of damage onto Lesh. Won't really find much. They're going to use Penitence onto Shadow Fiend. Glimpse as well. Will BKB and run out of the kinetic field. And I don't think if you're HR, you don't really want to take this fight. But you might have to. Ninja, not again! He does not have this buyback available. He has the cheese, though, will be sent back by Chen. And Dread using the Cogs as well as Blade Mill. It's like the fight is going to
LC has to back off. They don't have any BKBs. It's pretty scary at this point. Juggernaut doesn't have his Omni Slash, but they forced out a TA buyback. They, I would say, won the Roche fight, although I don't think they should have given up the Aegis.
We're going to have a replay of the Roche
fight. Play was amazing.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out for that. Dread with a good hookshot into the kinetic field. He force-staffs himself away and buys time here. Spartan is going to go for the force-staff right there. What a play, seeing that opening there. And even though they still don't get the Roche, Aegis, or Cheese, it sets up for a very easy fight that ultimately is going to get LC the Aegis removed. They're going to kill TA again, I do believe. She will have to buy back later after this. Did she manage to blink out here and get caught later? Yeah, she did blink out, but ultimately died later in the following fight. Yeah, that's a game winner play. Those kind of plays are always so incredibly cool to see. I love aggressive force-staff plays. And it didn't really look that aggressive. He was forcing someone away, but it was used on an enemy hero and did end up basically being a 15-second disable. It's pretty good on a 20-second cooldown.
And he had Omni Slash up. Like, he could have just owned that Shadow Fiend.
That could have been very different, I think.
Yeah,
if Juggernaut doesn't get cliffed there, they might have even won the fight in addition to getting Roche.
Yeah, and they have Aegis Cheese, and it would have been completely different.
Wow. Wow. 40 minutes in. The closest game I think we've cast, Ben. Together.
Not looking so close anymore. LC in a very fine position here as they're looking for an opportunity. HellRaisers, they just spoke up, but they're too weak. Again, no way to stop the BKBs, and just a lot of lack of physical damage. TA with the Desolator pickup has really slowed down her item progression. Juggernaut has died a lot and not been able to get that many kills, so he's also not sitting that much, as opposed to this Leshrac, who's pretty much just Bloodstoned away a couple of lives as well, just being able to come in and clean up with the BOTs and immediate respawn. So.
Yeah, has he actually died since he got the Bloodstone? I think he's suicided every time, so they haven't got anything out of this Lesh, basically. At least 2 of his deaths were suicides, 2 out of 3 since he got it. Oh wait, he got it when he was 4 and 5, right? So both deaths were suicides. Nothing given away to HR, and he has been finding so much farm this game. After having a good early game and then a rough mid game, still boasting a 350 CS minute 41. On the Radiant side is the Leshrac.
In Leshrak's mind,
so much. They have 150 more CS on each core, almost 100 to 150.
In Leshrak's mind, he's like he feels very powerful. He's like almost immortal. Like
Yeah.
he can go in and do whatever he wants. Just BKB, run in, try and kill whatever target. If you get Omni Slash, he has defensive cooldowns to pop, and as well as like Bloodlust for extra boost speed, so he can catch up and kill the super squishy targets. He has a ton of armor. He can tank Meld Strike. He can hold his own versus these heavy physical damage carries. Same with the Shadow Fiend. He hits really, really hard. He has Manta to clear refraction charges. He has a ton of armor and evasion to deal with the physical damage. And we talked about the limitations of TA and how easily it can be countered by a Ghost Scepter or just armor.
This does look like it's going to be the game-ending fight unless HR pull out some sort of miracle as they more or less concede their barracks are free. There is a hook shot from Dread. They get a Melt Strike off on Madara as well. Roar, however, comes out, and the Requiem hitting everyone. Lots of damage reduction. Ninja simply can't run in and fight. He's BKB'd up, but can't contest them at all. They're going to buy back the Clockwork of Dread, but with hookshot already used, can't really pose much of a threat. They're going to run back both the Chen as well as Disruptor, trying to heal up a little bit with the Healing Ward. Ninja actually almost getting killed by a Boar and a ranged Necro Book. Are they going to bring him down here? Because then it's over. No buyback on him. He does have the cheese, however, holding onto it as long as possible. Now he's going to pop it. They found Madara again. He's in Kinetic Field, Static Storm. Do they have the damage? They might. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Arts looking for Scarlark at the bottom, forcing him away, but Kaiser barely taking any damage in this fight. Just going to lay into Arts now, who needs to be very careful, dropping down to a quarter of health, being sent back by Chen. Ogre tries to go for the Fire Blast, does not get it off in time. But Lesh buys back, he ports back in. He was difficult to kill once. Can they do it again? I don't think so. Ninja looking for Spartan, getting blown up. No buyback TA for a minute and a half. Got him. Pops the Ghost Scepter, trying to run out. Will make it away as it looks. The aggressive Urn Charge, not enough. But they are now in a 4v3 situation without their strongest hero in the TA after the Juggernaut. And this just looks like game. I don't think they can initiate again.
Yeah, just waiting for Leshrak.
They got a 2,000 gold swing.
Continue to siege. Leshrak got glimpsed back after his BOTs, so that was pretty unfortunate for him.
But he is making it back again here. Has already reached the fight once more. Shadow Fiend going for the racks. And HR, it's time for the Hail Mary play. You have no other option. Immediate roar onto Arch. GG.
HellRaisers are done. Man, they were one of my qualifier predictions for Group B, but they just... A couple of really heart-wrenching losses for them in the series versus Na'Vi, one of the games versus Yellow Submarine, and now this game.
This game was a win. They had it in the bag. They had 7,500.
I think 3 of the games that they played should have been wins, and a little bit inexperienced.